So I am back racing. A month before this race, I had a testicle removed. So yeah, I wasn't at my fittest state, that's for sure. I had a lump on the old gonad back in December. Got it checked out, had an ultrascan. They said that I had testicular cancer. They got it removed. And yeah, luckily I'm all clear now. But I did do a video on that, so if you want to check it out, I'll leave a link in the description below and in the comments. So yeah, but look guys, check your balls, that's for sure. And if you're a girl watching this, check your breasts. So let's get into the race. So obviously, like I said, not fully fit. My goal today is to just hang in there and see the finish line. Coming up this front straight, finish line, start line straight, it was a headwind of hell, coming like diagonally right. So I made myself on the left hand side to block out the wind. So I wasn't doing many watts every time I came up here. And yeah, I don't know the amount of watts people were doing on the front here, but it must have been a lot. And it felt like we were just going at a snail's pace. Now, in this race today, we had myself doing absolutely nothing, and my teammates Will and Tom. And it was good to be with them, but yeah, I didn't really make any plans for the race, tactics-wise, because I was just not in good shape at all to be of any help. So my idea for this race was I'm going to sit in for the entire race, hopefully with a couple of laps to go. If there's a break, I may be able to get onto it, but if there's any breaks in the first 3/4 of this race, I had it in my head, I'm going to ignore it. Hopefully the peloton would reel them back in, and I can work from there for the end of the race. So that was kind of my plan, and if there was any breaks, I was hoping that Tom or Will would be able to work together, getting themselves in them, countering each other, whilst I just lay back in the peloton. So a couple more laps in, and I'm still in the field, woohoo! And yeah, on the left hand side there's the women's race, and at this point I was thinking to myself, gosh, I know what these boys are like, they're cheeky, and they're going to try and send it up here around the women, so that anyone who's disorganised behind will get tailed off the back end. So I'm here, I'm trying to hang on for dear life, and I just about make it. So we're coming up here, no one really gets away, but straight away there's a bit of wind, and I'm like, nope, don't want that. So get myself back on the left hand side, out of that wind as soon as I can, because every time I felt that wind, oh man, my fitness was absolutely dead. It was like riding into a brick wall. And if you know what that feels like, you probably need a free watt. So in that case, subscribe to the channel and I'll give you some free watts. So at this point, we're just under 20 minutes into the race. On the left, you can see a few riders that are going up the road. Looks like they were trying to break away. And at this point, I didn't actually notice them, admittedly. I was behind this big swarm of people, and it's a good job I didn't, because I may have been tempted to try and to bridge up to them. But I definitely didn't have the fitness, and I was just quite happy cruising in the group out of the wind. If I had tried to have gone for it, I'm pretty sure it would have shouted me out the back in no time. Now, as always the case, when the peloton slows right down, that's time to be alert. And as you can see, a ripple comes down the peloton and boom, a rider is off. Luckily, no one got taken down with him. And you just got to be careful when it goes down to like 16, 17 mile an hour in a peloton. It's just danger time. Everyone's just like all over the place. And that ripple effect that came right down on us just caught his front wheel, and that's all she wrote. Now at this point here, 2 laps to go. As far as I'm concerned, there's no one up the road, and I'm not sure if there actually was by looking back on the footage. So I'm thinking to myself, right, it's time to move up to the front of the peloton to try and get myself into position for the end of the race. So I come up on the outside, I do a big effort here to get around everyone, and a few people have the same idea as well. So I'm thinking, oh, amazing. I could have found myself in the race-winning move here, and I'm thinking absolutely brilliant. So I get on the wheels, and yeah, I just hang on and try and get as far as I can. In my head, I'm thinking, yes, I'm in the top 10 here, and hopefully everyone behind me is all gone. But I was dying a rather quick death at this point. So I'm on number 11's wheel. I don't know the guy's name. So I'm sat on his wheel, there's a few people up the road, and I'm thinking, yes, let's join them. Let's all start rotating. But this 400, 500 watt starting effort killed me off, and I'm trying to get on this guy's wheel, then he stands up and I'm like, that's one wheel gone. And I tried to get onto this guy, I'm doing 400 watts, and then he's gone, and then I'm left with no wheel to sit on, and I'm struggling doing 23 mile an hour for 380 watts a second ago, and I was just trying to claw my way back to these boys, and it really was not happening. I still had the hope. I thought I may be able to give it a little bit of a dig in a second, but what happens is everyone behind me starts catching down on me, and they gently come round me, and I'm in no man's land, and I'm thinking, they went round me quick, I can't even get on their wheel, I've got nothing in my legs to get on them. And then coming down here, it was a fast straight, but I had nothing to dig my legs into. So yeah, a few people here sat on my wheel, and I was waiting for them to come round so I could try and get onto theirs, and they do come round, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm absolutely dying here, and as soon as they come round, they're gone, and I'm stuck, and I'm getting dropped by absolutely everyone, and it was not a nice experience, this bit. I just needed some draft, and it wasn't available to me, and I was I was feeling a bit sorry for myself. So as soon as I got my hopes up that I was in the winning move, it had gone in the same amount of time without me. Just a lack of fitness. Coming into the last lap, look at that jabroni, eh? Straight past me, last lap. I am getting dropped to smithereens here. All these riders are coming up to me, the rest of the peloton that didn't try to go for it at the beginning. And there's Tom, and he comes past me. I'm like, geez, I'm dying. But that actually, when I saw him, I thought, right, he's not up the road, so I can maybe I can try and work with him. So I try and sit onto his wheel. I make the effort to try and get onto him, and I'm thinking to myself, right, maybe he's feeling fresh and might be able to bridge up with this bunch in front of us just here. But I'm useless at this point. I tried to help him in a minute, but it didn't quite work. So we sit onto these guys. We're going slow, 16 mile an hour. I'm thinking maybe these guys aren't as motivated as I thought they might have been. Coming down this back straight, it looked like Tom had kind of lost the bunch here, and was in the process of getting dropped. So he took me and someone else all the way down the straight. So I'm thinking, if I go round him, maybe I can give him one last effort to save his energy and then be able to burst his way up to this group here. Or maybe even I can try and chase them down. But I was in a bad way. I'm pretty sure he was in a bad way by looking at his face. So we're coming down here and trying to gain on them, and I'm not doing a great job. 32 mile an hour, and with nothing in the legs to try and get myself up at that couple more mile an hour. I probably could have if I really bit down on my gum shield, but it wasn't there. It was a bit of a pain, to be honest, more frustrating than anything. But as we come down here, I'm thinking maybe I can try and catch them around this corner if I can try and keep my speed high. So coming down here, it's quite slow watching this back actually. It's such a wide course. Come around the corner, still keeping the power down. I give it a little bit of an effort, and then Tom comes by me, and I'm thinking, it's a big gap to close down. But he does go past me at some pace, and I'm thinking to myself, well, maybe he can get back to the bunch and finish with them. So my race, I finished on the outside of that little peloton there. I think I actually came about 25th or 22nd out of 60 starters, so I am pretty happy with that. And I think I averaged around about maybe 215 watts average power around this race. Yeah, you heard that right, 215, 215, because my goal was just to be as efficient as I can and just get used to being back in the wheel. So I did absolutely no work during the race, and in the last couple of laps when I decided to try and do something, it didn't work at all. I've not been training any VO2 max. In recovery, I've just kind of been trying to get myself on the bike, so I hadn't really done any hard efforts. So yeah, I've got a lot of hard efforts to be doing in training now. But yeah, great race. That was Abingdon. That was week 3. I'll probably be at Abingdon week 4, which is this Saturday. the 11th of March, and I'll stick a link in the description if you want to do that race as well. There's Cat 4, Cat 3, and there's an E1, 2, 3 race as well. But yeah, great race. I enjoyed being back in it. I did see the kind of winning move there. Well, I think it was the winning move. I was almost a part of it, but yeah, I just didn't have the legs, but that's just down to a lack of training. So I take away a lot from that. I'm quite happy with my performance. So yeah, anyway, subscribe to the video, well, subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this video, and I will catch you guys soon. Hopefully, I will get some legs back and be able to do some more interesting finishes. Take care, guys, and remember, check your balls before you leave the video. See you later.